Hi guys, good morning. I just wanted to record a quick video here to go through some of the different documents and processes for starting a new student organization here on campus, new club. My name is Nate Meeker, and if you guys have not met me before, you'll be able to reach me pretty much any day during normal business hours, and then if you guys want to talk after, I'll be available on Discord every evening and on the weekends to answer any questions or to have meetings with you guys if you'd like. So there's a couple of things that I just wanted to discuss with anyone interested in starting a new club here at the university. We do already have 10 gaming clubs that are up and running. I'll go ahead and pull those over here right now. So for these clubs, we do have a Rainbow Six club that's ready to go. We do have a Overwatch club that's ready to go. We do have a Fortnite club ready to go. We have a CSGO club ready to go. A Smash club ready to go. League of Legends club ready to go. Rocket League club ready to go. PUBG club ready to go. Hearthstone club ready to go. And a Heroes of the Storm club ready to go. So we do have these 10 clubs that are either finished or in the process of being finished right now. So if there's a game that's not on this list that you're interested in creating a club for, that's what this video would be. If you are interested in joining one of these particular clubs, this is in the announcements section in our Discord. So feel free to get in touch with the people listed there, and they'll help you get into the channel and involved in club activities. So if you are interested in starting a club that is not listed there, there's a few things that you do need to do. So the first and probably the most important thing is just gathering some people. So for each club, we do need 3 student leaders, so 3 people who are students here at the University of Akron who are interested in student leadership for the clubs. The amount of time that those people need to dedicate really depends on the club. For some of the clubs, they'll be meeting once or twice a week, so the officers would need to be at the different meetings, and they'll be taking care of some of these documents that we have. So after you find those 3 people who are interested in getting started in a leadership role, then you need to sit down and think about what do your documents look like. And there are 9 documents in total, and I know that number seems a little daunting at first, but most of them are quite simple. So I'll go through them one by one just to kind of help you guys out and see what each of them looks like. So the first one that you're actually going to take a look at is the NSO member roster, and I'll provide a link to all of these different documents attached to the video here. So this student roster, all it is asking for names, emails, student IDs, and whether the student is a graduate or an undergraduate student here at the university. For each club, we do need at least 10 people. This is 10 people including the officers, so we already have 3 officers. We said they're interested in leadership. We just need 7 more. And for any of these games that we're starting a club for, it should be fairly easy to get the numbers. If you're looking and you need more numbers, please let me know and I'll help you organize different announcements in the Discord. So this is the first document that we would take care of. One person would go through and record names, emails, numbers, and whether they're an undergraduate or graduate. This will be the first thing that we turn in to Student Life. Along with that, we need to turn in a cover letter. And this cover letter is fairly simple. It's simply the name of your organization or name of your club. So most likely it would be the game's name plus University of Akron or Zips in the name somewhere. So for example, if you wanted to start the Dota 2 club, you and a few friends, you could sit down and name the club the Dota 2 club at the University of Akron or Zips Dota 2 clubs, something like that. And then we would need to write down the leader's name, the president's name, their phone number, and their email, today's date, and this is basically just addressing the letter to the University of Akron, and then we'll talk about what the purpose of the club is. So why would we like to start a club here at the University of Akron for this particular game? For the most part, these are fairly straightforward reasons. It would be something like to gather different people on campus to play the game, to promote the game on campus, to raise the awareness for people on campus, to help people recognize that other people on campus are interested in playing the similar game, something like that. We can list a few different things why we'd like to start the club here. If you guys need help brainstorming some of these reasons, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to sit down with you as well. So this is the second thing. And these are the only two things that you guys need when you're sending your initial documents over to Student Life. So if you only have these two things, the letter and the list, that's fine. You can go ahead and send the list over to Student Life without doing any of the other documents yet. But we're going to go ahead and go through those as well. So in addition to those two things, you are going to also be filling out a new student organization process, a registration form. And this one is a little bit more detailed. Again, it has the name of the organization. It's no different here. And then this time you have the name of your president and some of their information, email, address, etc. And then you have space for the campus advisor. I'll come back to this in a second. And then you have the names and positions of those other officers. We did say that you need 3 people who are willing to act as leaders for the club. This is where the other 2 people would be. One thing to note here is that they do not have to keep the same name, vice president and treasurer. You can change the names of these positions if you would like. And for all of our organizations through the esports gaming clubs, we're going to be blended groups. So I would like to make sure that every group is a blended group. There's no reason to be only an undergraduate or a graduate group for one of these gaming clubs. And it does not help you at all to only be one or the other. So I said I would come back and talk about the campus advisor. Each club here at the university also does need a campus advisor. And this is someone who either is a faculty member or a professional staff here on campus that can help you out with documents and making sure that you're going through all of the university regulations correctly. Sometimes the advisor can be very involved in the club. Sometimes the advisors are less involved and are more there to fill out documents with you and to make sure that each of your organizations and registration things aspects is going well. If you are a student here at the university and you've been here for a couple of years, you may know of a faculty member or staff member who is interested in a similar game. You're more than welcome to reach out to them and use one of them as your faculty campus advisor. In addition, if you don't know of anyone who's interested in that game, or you don't know of anyone on campus who'd like to function in that role, myself, Michael, or David here in the esports department can also function as that role. So feel free to reach out to one of us and ask us to be your advisor. Okay, that's about it. This is the third document. The next document that we'd be taking a look at is your recognition agreement and terms and conditions. So the recognition agreement and the terms and conditions are documents that are looking at the different regulations and rules here on campus. I'd make sure you take a look through this, but all this takes is a signature from the president and then a signature from your campus advisor. So go ahead and read through it and sign it, and we'll scan it and send it back to Student Life. Same thing goes for the next document, which is the terms and conditions. Again, read through it, its regulations, its rules, it talks about different things here on campus. And then again, organizational president's signature, campus advisor signature, and date for both of these. And then the next thing that you would do is the Constitution template. This one does tend to be the longest document in the entire packet, but there's a lot of things here to help you. And if at any point you guys need help with these documents, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to sit down and help with the documents. This document, I would recommend you have all 3 officers sit down and do it together. In my experience, it can go as quick as about an hour and a half and maybe as long as 3 hours or so if you've never done anything like this before. And again, if you want to schedule a time with me, I'd be more than happy to sit down and work through the document with you guys. So the first part is just asking about the name again. The second part is the purpose. This is very similar to the cover letter that you wrote. Why are we trying to make this club at the University of Akron? The next one talks about membership, and for the most part we can just delete the red sections and add in our own sections, and we do not need to add too many particular details here. The next part is really up to the individual club, and it asks what are the membership duties going to be. If they're going to be attending different events, if they're going to be paying different dues, if they're going to be participating in tournaments, what do people who are in membership roles have to do? Next section is how will that be revoked? What would happen? Most likely it will simply be something like the student is not in good standing in the university any longer, which means something like their grades are not appropriate to participate, they haven't paid their fees for this semester, they've gotten in trouble somehow at the university, something like that. But you don't have to be specific. You can simply say they are no longer in good standing at the university, and that's perfectly fine. The next section down talks about what are the different positions in the club and what powers, roles do those positions have. And so they start off here with president, vice president, treasurer. You can feel free to rename those positions. They do not have to stay the same. And then there's spaces to add in duties, and we can add in more roles as well. I'll come back to this in a little bit because I have an additional document to help you guys out with these different roles. Next one down, it talks about nomination. How do we elect them? For the most part, we can use one of the selections from the red boxes, and we can fill in the blanks with those. Again, then we have what happens when there's vacancies, what happens when someone is impeached, what happens in that impeachment proceeding. And for the most part, what we're looking for is just consistency. So if you said that people are going to be elected or impeached by a 2/3 vote or a 75% vote or a 50% vote, then just keep it consistent throughout the document. Make sure that at each point in the document, you have something about that same percentage. And then next one down asks about the campus advisor. So what are we going to do with the campus advisor? How are we going to find them? You can do a survey, you can do a poll, you can ask the club members if they would have a particular campus advisor in mind. For the first year of the club, this is going to be pretty straightforward because you probably will not have too many candidates that you'd like to select from. So this will not be a huge issue. The next one down talks about rules or organizational procedures. So organizational meetings, how are they going to be held? Is it weekly, bi-monthly, monthly? This is up to each group to decide. What does a quorum consist of? So normally we have 3/4 of total membership, which basically just means when can big decisions be made? How many people of the club do you need to have a big decision to be made? Finance, are there any dues for the club? I've been suggesting that there are no dues for the first year of the club because we will be providing all of the PCs, equipment, spaces, so there shouldn't be any need for that. But if the club would like to ask for some dues from their members, that is fine. And then the last section is simply just a signature stating that we understand the different roles and responsibility here at the organization or the University of Akron, and that we're not going to do anything to discriminate or change the roles or rules here at the university. I know this document is fairly long, and it does have a lot of different details in it, so I'd be more than happy to sit down with you guys and work through this at any time. The last document that we have is called the Why Statement, SMART Goals, and First Year Plan. Some of this is fairly similar to what we've looked at already. The first section is asking for something that they call a why statement. And it starts with a sentence that says, to, so that, and this is very similar to the purpose that you've already written twice. So in most cases, the statement here is going to be to broaden the horizon of students on the campus of Akron in order to, or so that we can grow the number of students involved in the club. Basically what we're trying to do is here in this first section, some type of promotion, some type of looking towards the future, and then in this section, so that we can recruit more people, so we can have more people involved. Fairly straightforward as far as the purpose goes. And again, I can help you guys with this. The next section is called the SMART goals. And they're looking for 3 goals here. Basically, these goals are going to be, how are you going to do this thing, this why statement? So if your why statement, why are you forming the club? You're trying to form the club so that students at the University of Akron can compete in whichever game it is you're forming the club for. Okay, that's fine. If that's the case, then these 3 goals should reflect that. So how are you going to help them compete? Maybe the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to join some type of organization, some type of tournament structure in order to give the students a chance to compete. Maybe second, you're going to need to recruit students. So you're going to do tabling events, you're going to attend different organizational structuring meetings throughout the semester, things like that. So these 3 goals should help you with this purpose. So how are you going to achieve that purpose? And then the last section is the first year plan. And this breaks down the different months, September all the way through next September. If you're starting this a little bit later, go ahead and go November until next November. Whenever you're starting it, start with that month. And these do not have to be something that you actually do accomplish, but they're things that you're hoping you would accomplish. And they're really looking for 2 things here. One, they're looking for you to be very specific. So if you say, okay, we're going to have a monthly meeting, that's good, but in specific, what are you going to discuss? What are you going to do at that monthly meeting? Are you going to choose the starting roster for your competition team? Are you going to explore different tournament procedures? Are you going to look at how are you paying for this? You can brainstorm different things that you would talk about here. They're looking for 1 or 2 things to happen every month. And at some point, there should be an event in here that the group or club is going to put on. All right. Now, with that in mind, those are all of the different documents that you guys are going to put together. So after those documents are all put together, those documents would be sent over to Student Life. And currently, the Student Life advisor for those documents, his name is Adam Beverly. His email is abeverly@uakron.edu. I'll attach that on the bottom of the video as well to go along with the description and the section for the manuals. Now, the one thing also that I did mention was when we went through the roles in the Constitution, the president, the vice president, the treasurer, the secretary, I said that I had samples for those, and I do. So those samples are actually in this club handbook, which is also attached to the announcement section, and I'll attach it again to this video. So the different roles here, the president, the vice president, treasurer, manager, officers, these are things that I have brainstormed and looked at some different responsibilities that I think might be appropriate for these different roles. You guys can feel free to look through these different roles and choose which ones you think fits the club if you don't want to write your own roles. So you can copy and paste directly from this document. That's perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to change the roles here. You can add in things, you can subtract things, that's perfectly fine. One thing to mention here with these roles is that a coach is a separate role here. And the reason for that is because we are allowing the coach to be the one role where clubs might choose to have an outside coach from the university. So the coach is the one role that does not actually need to be a student here at the university in order to participate. So if you'd like to have a community member, if you'd like to hire a coach as a team, that is definitely an option. Other than that, the link where all of these documents will be, and again, I will go ahead and share this, is on the sources homepage at uakron.edu. And each of these documents, the cover letter, constitution, charter member roster, recognition agreement, terms and conditions, new group registration form, and why statement, SMART goals, first year plan, all of these can be found on this website. So I'll go ahead and link this as well. And please, guys, if at any point you've got any other questions about the documents, if you'd like to sit down and talk about what's going on, if you want help with the documents, if you need some advice, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to sit down and work through them with you. Again, my name is Nate. You guys can contact me on Discord or through my UAkron email, ntm2@uakron.edu.